Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start by telling you about the video that you are not going to see. It's been a gorgeous day here in southern England. It's been hot and we had a very big spring tide. Now, the sailors amongst you will understand that you have spring tides and neap tides. Spring tides are bigger, and today we had quite an incredibly big one, which gave me an opportunity, which is why I'm dressed like an old tramp at the moment, gave me an opportunity to move a boat. For the record, the boat's called Patricia, which may explain one or two things to some of my Facebook friends. Now, what could possibly go wrong? It was a simple operation. It had to be moved 35, 40 yards. And I'm an experienced small boat handler. And I'd got some rope and I'd got some paddles and such like. What I forgot was actually how strong tidal currents can be. So we got the boat afloat and we untied it. Now, we've got no petrol and we don't actually know if the motor was going to run or not. So the idea was to push it out into the middle of the creek and to let the current take it, and then we was going to move her onto another mooring. And it all went interesting around about then. The current got hold of it. The current in that bit of the creek runs at, I don't know, 6 knots or so. And I was sat on the front paddling. That's why there's no video. I don't know a way of holding a camera and paddling like crazy. I know a way of dropping a camera in the water, so I didn't even risk it. Well, as luck had it, I've got friends, or at least people who didn't want to see me drown. I don't know if they're actually friends, I don't know if they're still friends. One of them's an older chap who has mobility problems, spondylosis and various other issues, but he's got a long rope, and another chap who is a good bit older than me as well, who has trouble getting through the day working too hard because he suffers quite severely with diabetes. Anyway, they were good as gold. They did things and threw ropes, and all's well that ended well. Patricia is now tied up securely. My next job with her is to roll her to one side and scrub her bottom, and then roll her to the other side and scrub the other half of her bottom, and one or two other cosmetic-y sort of things. But that wasn't really what I wanted to talk about tonight. When I was a child, there were things that I wanted, and I remember pressing my nose against shop windows and saying, "Dad, Dad, 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 I would like one of those. I'd love one of those. I really want one of those." And my dad would say all sorts of things like, "Well, you'll have to wait till your birthday," or "It's too much money," or "It wouldn't go with your layout." However, Dad can't stop me doing what I like these days, sadly, for the worst of all reasons. So, this is what we have acquired. Now, to those of you who know about these things, this is a model of a British Rail Class 31 diesel locomotive, diesel electric locomotive. In the real thing, it has a big diesel and it has a big dynamo, and the final drive is by electric motors. This one is a Triang model, 00 gauge. It is described as not working. It's described as being for spares or repair. Anyway, it's all there. Triang cheated with these the middle wheels of the front bogie, or the power bogie, aren't wheels. They're just a little moulding. There is a reason for that, all to do with the curvature of toy railway tracks and such likes. The next thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take it apart, because I got told off, didn't I? I ran a locomotive without servicing it. I've serviced it since, it runs fine, it's now got oil where it should have oil, and it's got spark where it's supposed to have spark. But this one, well, I'm not going to be nasty to it. I'm going to take it apart, pull this bogie out of it, and give it some TLC, some cuddling if you like. Squish some oil in there and lubricate bits, and well, we will show you how we get on.